Who is telling the story? Is it me? Why should it be? Then again, why not? They don't understand. They try to find their ways out. It is easier that way, isn't it? They try to hide from sight and disguise who they are, and pretend they are in control. It won't work. So what am I to do? Let them go and forget? No. The stars are falling, he says. He has no idea. Can you hear me? Are you listening? Ox, they stand icier than even Virgil, and the rock just sits cool in your palm. And you meet eyes with them. They whisper a quiet word. Their free hand reaches out as if they're going to take it, and then they just quickly draw it a quick shape in the air. There's a faint golden glow. It doesn't seem to affect you. They look to the star in your hand, to you, back to Virgil. Their gaze lingers a moment, to Henry, and then talks again. You lived for a while with Scar, and you might have thought yourself familiar with looks of disdain, but maybe you never really knew the meaning of the word until now. So their gaze falls again to the rock in your hand. If you wish to goad me, I have faced worse mockery than this.
Did I recognize the spell?
Want to make an Arcana check?
Sure. 21.
It looked like detect magic.
I think the three of us are ready to leave.
You may leave if you agree to help me.
And if we don't agree to help you?
They let go of Virgil's arm and take a small step back. I understand you do not like me. That is not a problem. It is a problem that you don't take my authority seriously. I have shown you more kindness than you realize. That can end here if you wish.
This entire conversation, you have failed to be specific. Whatever it is you want to do, just be forward about it.
What I want to do, or what I will do.
I'll let you decide.
If you need threats, I will threaten you. Fine. Your parents? They ignore plenty of atrocities. Shall they face the consequences? Or Elmore, do you wish to be shackled again? Shall you be put to death for what you have done? Shall you, Flores? Shall Sterling?
How then will you find out what we know? We are here because you are desperate, and you need what we have. So strike me down if you wish, and you will never know.
Do not wish to strike you down.
Then let's get one thing clear. We are not working for you. If anything, we will be working with you.
Yes.
And I want some things in return. Let me just pull up my bullet points.
I made note cards.
I did. Let me just. I have my
I
notes.
get stage fright.
Hold on. My lawyer will be with us shortly. Let's start with Sterling, shall we? I want him out of the field. There's plenty he can do here as Commander-in-Chief. And he will be safe in Donning.
They nod.
My citizenship for another thing. I have fought and I have died for this island and for its people time and again, and I have earned the right to come and go as I please.
They nod again.
And I want Strauss's gem.
That is not mine to give.
At your order, Commander Coe would hand it over.
Why do you want Strauss's gem?
If I had my way, I would have them all. But shall we start with one? If I can
They're
see...
not casting anything.
Okay. I am keeping an eye out for detect thoughts.
Their gaze shifts to your shoulder. Their head tilts to the side just slightly. And back to you. I will speak to Coe.
Very well.
But I cannot promise. Coe does not serve me. They serve beside me.
In that case, if they refuse, you may tell them I have a potential replacement, and we can discuss that later.
Explain.
Later. I would have you ask them first.
I will ask them and report back to you. And no matter their answer, you will explain.
Understood. Now, what is it you want from us?
I want you to continue to learn from me. I want you to give me whatever you found beneath Freya. I know there is more. I want you to send Kian Lionos to my office,
For what purpose?
only to speak with him.
Like the way you've spoken to us.
If they are not agreeable, yes.
Right.
I will send you on another mission. I want you to find what you can again and bring it back again. You are discovering ruins from before the downfall. These are ancient and unknown places. I am vague, Mr. Goodlove, because I do not know what you will find there. That is why I want you to report to me. Bring what you can back.
How is it you know of these locations?
Rumors, mostly. A map, very old. And some guidance from the Phoenix.
I will ask Kian if he will speak with you.
It is not a question.
Then they will not be alone.
They nod. You're closing your eyes so you don't react is not working.
It's, when you bury your face in your hands and, look at your lap. It's to keep the auditory responses at bay. Because if I can't see, I can't speak,
See no evil, speak no evil.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Hear so much.
That is acceptable.
When will we be departing?
It looks like they're about to reply, and then they kind of look you over, Virgil. 3 days.
And measure the levels of exhaustion I have? Ew. Stop doing girl math. Very well. Thank you for your time.
What is this?
My familiar.
That is not a familiar.
Then it's none of your business.
This is my office.
And we have struck quite a bargain. Do you wish it to stand? Good day, Commander. He doesn't bow. Don't you fuck with me, Navane.
The tension.
They lunge forward to grab for your cloak.
Shield. He casts shield and a wall of icy blue magic will fly up between them.
Does that just stop anything at all, or is it weapon specific? Also, I do want you to make a dexterity roll.
The technical wording of shield is +5 bonus to AC, including against the triggering attack.
Yeah, I don't think this counts as an attack. They're not even
Okay.
trying to touch you.
Dirty
Yeah,
20.
Okay, yeah, Virgil, you manage to just twist out of the way before they can grasp onto your cloak.
And I think he will draw his sword, take a defensive stance. Is this to be how it is, then?
That is your decision, not mine.
Are we not always taking 1 step forward and 3 back?
You feel a little scrabbling of claws at your shoulder
Oh, sweetie.
as Errol tries to struggle his way out from the fur hood.
Oh, God.
Because Henry's been over more towards the door, not fully. He has his bow drawn, arrow notched, but not pulled back all the way necessarily. And that would just be at the point that Virgil drew his sword.
Ox, what are you doing?
Ox has a hand on his gun, waiting. Hasn't drawn yet, though.
There's a moment of standoff, and then a bat flares out
No!
from,
Stop, Errol!
from Virgil's cloak, and just flits over to Henry and lands on Henry's shoulder. Naveen watches the flight path. You may go. I said you may go.
He sheathes his sword and just turns for the door.
After the first "you may go," Henry relaxes his bow to his side, keeping it in one hand with the arrow held between his fingers, turns to the door. Does it open?
It does.
Bye.
I think with his hand still on his gun, Ox will walk out, not in a hurry.
Is this question for everyone at the table? Is this the first time that we, as characters, have heard Aurel?
Oh wait, yes.
Yes.
Because
Nico
Nico
said
said
it.
it to you
alone.
Yes.
But
yeah,
hasn't
that's
said
why
it,
we
yeah.
haven't
Okay.
brought it up yet.
Yeah.
Noted. And wait, remind me. I have the bag of holding. You also have a bag of holding. Kian has the celestial coin. Okay. Yeah, I think Virgil will see himself down the stairs. He knows the way out. I think he's probably just blindly heading for, like, the courtyard and towards the exit of the Phoenix grounds. He knows his way around.
As you're all leaving, you do notice a slight change in the people around you. Before, when you entered, you were ignored isn't really the right word. People didn't really pay you any mind. Here and there, you notice some people are no longer sort of treating you with a careless, casual look, but with something like concern. You hear some whispers as you speedily walk by.
Virgil will glare them down if he notices that. Because he doesn't have time for people to be talking shit. He's had enough.
Are you making eye contact? Are you like,
Yes, he's like, what the fuck are you whispering? Like, he doesn't say anything. He just will glare when he catches them whispering.
you look over to some servant who appears to have been caught in the middle of their run from one building to the other. They look kind of sad and give you a slow nod.
What? What the fuck?
To be fair, Henry is pretty accustomed to people glaring at him from a distance, or at the very least staring.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, Ox just keeps his head down.
And this isn't everyone, it's just something that you notice here and there. And you make your way to the front gates. Henry, you see a familiar sight moving towards you. The Goodloves do have a carriage that they will often use. You can recognize it. I mean, you've ridden in it many times. It slows as you start to meet in the middle and stops. The door opens to Gossamer, who just beckons you inside.
Can I get a vibe reading?
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
what happened? What do these people know that we don't? Everyone in Dawning is such a fucking gossip.
do
I
I
got
get
12.
advantage?
Yeah, you do. I think we've had you do that.
Somewhere was bad enough with the gossip, but
23.
23. He looks worried and mournful.
What the fuck?
Henry gives a glance to the rest of the party and pulls himself up into the carriage.
Do the rest of you want to sit down? Make yourselves comfortable. It's a decently spacious carriage. Soft seats, wide windows that have curtains drawn across them.
What is this?
He waits until the carriage starts to move again, until you have the backdrop of sound of wheels over the cobblestones before he answers. I thought it was best you hear it from me instead of, I don't know, some gossipy staff member. Your friend,
What did you do, May?
Your friend Kian Linus, I don't know exactly what the details are, but there was a fight of some sort. It appears they have been killed. The perpetrators took the body.
Where was this? When was this?
The performance district close to the Phoenix grounds,
How long ago?
not terribly long ago, maybe, well, I only just heard. Came straight here. I knew you were reporting to Navain.
Oh, we headed there now. The performance district.
No, we are heading back to the estate.
Is there no information on where these people went?
He looks down at his knees and shrugs. They must have been very skilled at the art of stealing things away because, again, it was in the performance district in a crowd. I've only just started to hear the news coming in, so I can't inform you as much as I wish I could. I can see what I can do, get people looking in. We know that they were on stage with another man, a singer. No one recognized him.
Killed them? In front of everyone?
There was a fight, a spat. Some people say your friend started it. Some people say he did.
Still in front of everyone.
Yes.
Oh my god. May, you weren't joking.
God damn it.
What the fuck?
I'm sorry to have to deliver this news. If there's anything you need, let me know. If you want to spend time alone in your rooms, that's understandable as well. He seems a bit uncomfortable with this whole situation, a little bit fidgety in his seat. But the concern is genuine.
Thank you for telling us.
Right. Okay. Yes, we'll probably need a minute alone when we get back.
I understand. Yeah, he falls quiet. Just cracks open the curtained window to let the glow of the lanterns passing by into the carriage, and just switches between staring outside and staring down at his hands. And you reach the Goodlove estate. He stands up, the door is opened for you. He steps to the side, lets you all out. If you need anything, you know where to find me.
Of course. Thank you.
Yeah, Gossamer just stands in place and watches you go.
Henry sort of shuffles into like the first unoccupied sitting room.
Again, much like at the Phoenix grounds, occasionally you see someone who's in the know notice you and give you a pitying look.
When we get settled in a room, Virgil will sit and start casting Find Familiar. He wants to try and summon Marigold.
Does this take an hour?
Yep.
Well,
Do you think Kian's really dead? I mean, if there's no body, then...
well, they did steal it. That is, forgive me, but that's pretty fucked. So once Virgil is finished and we are... Maybe he will have more information, but how comfortable are you going after Scar? I mean, let's be realistic. We know exactly who those performers were. Probably.
Well, I see it as we don't have much of a choice. We have to. We can't just leave Kian.
I agree. Sure, Virgil will say the same. Also not, operating under the assumption, the hopeful assumption that we find Kian. When we find Kian, we're definitely not letting them go talk to Navain. I know Virgil talked about not going alone, but I don't think that's I just think they should not at all.
I don't think they'll be asking to see Kian anytime soon now.
I mean, I'm sure they have some kind of bullshit method that they'll pull, but then they would have to come and confront us ourselves, and it's not like they're going to leave their office. They actually can't even leave this island of Dawning, so in a way, we have an idea of how to get easily out of their clutches, grasp, control, any of those.
That's not how it works.
It's exactly how it works.
I think they can just send Dawn Shepherds after us if they wanted to. Henry?
no, the shepherds.
Well, it wouldn't-
Sorry. You're
also-
casting.
Also, it wouldn't be Rowan because you just told them to not let Rowan.
I know, but we love Umbra.
I mean, I suppose. But then that could be just such a abuse of power and corruption and waste of resources from the cities.
But, do you really doubt that from Navain? They said they were for the people, but I wonder how true that is.
I still think they make it difficult to decide with how obtuse they are. I'm going to get a couple of things together, perhaps organize myself. Should be done with his spell in checks his pocket watch. 45-ish minutes or so. Then we'll go.
Yeah, I think I might take a walk around outside.
Big B, take a walk around.
Just the grounds.
Okay, yes, that's all right. Well, in the meantime, now that they're alone, Errol's been on his shoulder. Henry will sort of shrug to glance over to Errol. How are you feeling, Errol, after, Navain?
They flutter off of your shoulder and poof, back into it. It goes poof every time, and you see poof written in like like floaty text.
Nice.
I was like, it's okay, I've reclaimed this slur.
Yeah, yes. And Errol reappears. Their arms like crossed and just tapping their fingers against their arm. I don't. It seems as if you are about to get into a fight with Commander-in-Chief. Did I read the situation correctly?
If it had to come to that, but it didn't, so it's alright.
It was about to.
They didn't exactly give us a lot of options.
They could kill you in a second.
Maybe that would make things easier.
What does that mean?
Add that to the list of fucked up things Henry has said.
Look, I don't think they would. I mean, there has to be a reason why they're so desperate to work with us specifically.
Perhaps there is, but that does not mean they cannot fuck you up. It's fine. Are you inside, like, your sort of wing right now?
It would probably be closer to the main area of the estate.
They poof back into bat and just fly off. Virgil, would you like to roll a Arcana check?
Yeah, I would like to.
Ooh, dirty 20. Dirty 20.
It's like you reach out and grasp onto a string and pull it, and you feel there's something at the other end before it falls out of your grasp.
Shit.
Can you normally just summon somebody else's familiar?
No.
No.
But things might happen if you roll really well.
Henry did set his watch for it. So, I don't know if Ox is back at that point, but Henry's definitely back when Virgil is finished with his casting.
There was something on the other end, but she did not come. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
If Kian isn't in the best state, maybe she doesn't want to leave them. But she is there, right?
I felt something. So, yes, she is. Okay. What are we doing?
Well, we need to prioritize getting Kian.
And how far could they have gone in an hour? They could be out of the island. Do we have a way to find them, to track them?
I could perhaps see about having Vincent and Nadia assist us.
Yeah, that or maybe we don't waste time trying to find them and make them find us.
Make them find us?
Well, why else would they be in Dolning if not to fuck with us? And they followed us all the way here.
Oh, you mean Scar's group?
Yes,
Well, I'm open to that too.
it's not as if they would go very far. I mean, Scar has been fucking with Ox for weeks now. Why would she stop?
Admittedly, I don't know what her end goal is, but at the very least we could go over to the performance district. Then let's get moving.
Yeah, Virgil will follow.
He loves to do that.
He loves to do that.
As you take a step outside, you hear a loud crashing sound from upstairs.
Okay. I think Virgil will just turn and run to find a staircase. Where is this? What the fuck is happening?
Arrow?
Arrow, babe!
Ox, you're outside searching for a dog.
Yeah, Ox has been thinking about how Carrot ran off, so figure walk the perimeter, get his scent out there, see if Carrot, gets interested and comes back.
Leave me with a shirt and a cardboard box.
Yeah, he probably had like some bacon in his pocket because he has to refresh. Like he's got some bacon grease that he keeps in there, and he's got to keep Delilah away from it.
Nasty.
So
Bacon grease in there.
So,
grease spell.
Henry, as you're walking outside, I think in the distance you see Ox kind of like trolling the grounds, and then Virgil runs the opposite direction up towards the sound of the crash.
Henry drops down to one knee real quick, looks at Delilah, hand on her head. I need you to go and stay with Orcs for now, alright? I'll be right back. And runs upstairs after Virgil, while Delilah trots over to Ox.
It sounded like it came from Kian's room.
Is the doorknob locked when I try it?
No.
He will just, burst through the door.
You see, for a second, nothing. And then you hear a snap. And an invisibility spell drops. and there's a short tiefling woman.
Let's take a pause there and go back in time a little bit. Kian, do you fly out the window? Are you Bat?
Kian just climbs out.
You tying all your clothes together and creating a rope?
They're on
Oh,
the
you have
second
spider
floor.
climb.
Yeah. They leave with enough time to spare that they will cast invisibility and find a place to rest in the city to get their spell slots back. I guess they leave blind because it's still light out when they leave. When it's dusk and the sun is not as bright, are they able to kind of see a little bit?
Yeah, you can stumble your way around, but if you were in a fight, for example, it might be a little rough.
All right. They go straight to the outside of the inn. As it's still dusk, they set up a little area to busk and they just play and they wait. I feel with a confidence that is maybe undeserved that Jock will come out.
Yeah, you play for a while, and then we'll roll a performance check.
Oh shit. I really want this to be good. Fuck. 7. He's distracted.
You don't attract much of a crowd. People will kind of give a polite little moment of listening. You don't get much coin from this busking venture, despite your charm. Though, you still have your charm about you, but what do you look like?
They look like Kian before they left Dawning the first time. So both arms of a normal color, wearing a cloak.
But it would be recognizable to Jacques.
Yes.
Okay. No one is around to hear the awkward twang of strings as Jacques just yanks you from behind, takes your arm, and pulls you down the little alleyway between the inn and the tavern next door. He looks you over, and there's a look of vague frustration on his face.
Hey, I was doing a little thing here.
What is your deal? What are you doing here?
I was hoping to find you.
He steps back and holds out his arms. I am here.
I was looking for a little help with a performance of sorts.
Seems you could use some help, yes.
There's a true, flash of... It's not quite frustration, but, it's a bit of frustration mixed with embarrassment. I'm a little rusty right now, actually. But that's not exactly... You, putting on quite a show, right?
He shrugs, kind of smiles as he does so. I felt I'm good at it, yes.
Do you like helping people who are in a bit of a spot?
If I can.
Kian leans against the wall. To be honest, I need a bit of bardic magic to help me along with this, but trying to make myself disappear from everything.
He nods.
And people need to know if I'm going to do this right.
What, are you a big deal?
My name's known a bit. More than I'd like it to be.
It sounds familiar. So what do you want to do? You want to join us?
I don't know. What
We-
should I be joining?
We travel, mostly. Don't stay in the same place for long. We won't be in Dunning for much longer, maybe a few days at most. We sometimes help people like you. We live on our own. I am sure if I put in a good word for you, no one will complain.
That's really tempting. I don't know about that one yet, though.
He just seemed vaguely disappointed, but shrugs again, nods again.
I think I want to make sure this part works first, before I start considering what to do next.
Okay, but you have to know where you're going to disappear to.
Well, I'm not too bad at, He'll just snap his fingers, and there's a disguise of, brown-haired halfling. Snaps his fingers back. I've got the after part somewhat more figured out.
Alright, so you want the show?
Yeah, I was thinking something big.
And what do I get in return for this?
Well, we could figure something else out, but I won't go trying to steal that diamond back from you.
He smiles. I do appreciate that, but I think I would have it either way, if I help you or not.
No, we could see about that.
I still have it now, don't I?
Keen just shrugs. What kind of thing would you want?
He thinks for a moment. He kind of puts on a show of thinking. I don't know what you have to offer. You say you are well known.
Keen shrugs again, kind of smiles.
Is that mostly here in Dunning?
Yes and no. Back at home too.
Where is that?
Rasul.
You are far from home.
Like I said, I'm a bit of a traveller now.
How do you travel?
Same as any, along the ley lines.
Can you get us tickets?
Keen looks like he's genuinely considering that. I don't know. Maybe. But I'm never the one to get tickets, so... I could ask.
It sounds fun. You try to get us these tickets, and we will put on a show.
If I want to join you, would you ask for anything in return?
No, you don't have to pay to enter.
Just let me for the sake of it?
I should probably talk to the others first, just in case, but I have some sway.
First things first. It's a big show, right? Do you have any ideas?
I think I need a bit more detail on exactly what you want to have happen. What you're imagining here. You want a certain crowd, you want a certain story to be told.
The story isn't so important, I don't think. It's more the ending.
But the story is important. If the ending is important, that's part of the story.
Well, I've just thought of the end result I need.
Alright, so what is that?
I need it to look like he killed me.
You want me to be the murderer?
You could be someone else if you'd want.
He shrugs. No, it's as simple as that way. Like I said, we are leaving soon.
So, what would make you want to kill someone?
He mirrors you, leans back against the opposite side of the alleyway. Thinks for a moment. There are moments on stage if I'm performing with someone who is perhaps not so experienced with the manners. Or I wish I could just murder them then and there, so maybe this time I can.
Right, so I play some sort of bad musical partner?
You could get pissed at me for being far better than you are. Rather talented, if I say so myself.
I don't know if I could pull that one off so well. It's just the truth.
You're not a little bit jealous?
Keen just shrugs.
It's alright if you are. I have many years to practice. Just channel that. I don't want to come out of this looking like a complete monster.
Alright. I can do that.
Simply enough. Not the most elaborate of tales, but maybe that is for the best. When do you want this to happen?
Keen looks at the sky. It's getting a little dark now. But is the sun still kind of vaguely in the distance, or has it completely set?
The sun has set, but there is still a bit of light in the sky. You know, the reddish purple of sunset.
Do you think it'd be too late to do this tonight? You know the scene a bit more than I do right now.
You're in a rush then.
It could happen tomorrow. But kind of eager to get this done with.
Actually, whichever you prefer is fine with me.
Right, let's do it now.
Okay. What should we play?
Keen has the mandolin still slung over his shoulder, and he pulls it in front of him and plays in the air for a minute, hovering over the strings, kind of corrects himself, and then they'll change, and they'll start playing a song that Lachlan wrote, one that they don't really even fully remember the words to at this point. but it's pretty upbeat. Have you heard this one before?
The amused, friendly smile has faded as you play the song. He shakes his head.
Well, here, you've got your banjo. I know it didn't sound like you could play that well earlier, but fairly good at following along.
Yes, he has it over his shoulder, slings it over. You want me to decide then?
I mean, if you don't know this one, we could go through more songs, but maybe it'd be easier the other way.
He seems a bit almost dazed. I can pick that up if you want. It should be your decision anyway. It is your funeral, and not many get to decide. I can pick this up. Play it one more time.
Keen looks at him for a second, and I'm just gonna roll an insight check.
Yeah.
I got a 17.
What do you want to say?
If the song kind of struck a chord.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely seems like it did. There's an element of fear almost and curiosity at the same time. Like he's doing something that he's not supposed to, or that he's afraid that he's not supposed to, as he asks for it again.
Keen plays it again, a bit slower this time, more at a teaching pace.
He picks it up pretty much immediately. Alright, that is easy enough. Let's go kill you then.
Sounds like a plan.
Just follow me. I know a few places around town that tend to attract a decent crowd. And follow me. He starts to walk. There is no one in particular you need to see this, just people.
I need the information to get to the Phoenix grounds.
Right, so you need the wealthy folk to see this.
Sounds about right.
And the gossipy folk. The red light district it is. He grins and takes you by the arm and starts to lead you down the alleyways, kind of skirts to the edges most of the time of the more populated streets as you go. And don't worry, it's not really a red light district, but there are plenty of performances, nightlife, etc. This is the nicer neighborhood we're going to, so hopefully there will be some Phoenix people there to watch you die.
Keen kind of takes a deep breath as if they're maybe for the first time realizing just what they've signed up for. But it's quickly replaced by the confidence again. Do you have that spell, make it seem real?
Yes, I would not agree to this so easily if I did not.
What are we gonna do with my body? Leave it there?
Well, I can try to carry it off, and so that is going to be difficult for me, to be honest. If not, you may end up waking up in some healing ward somewhere and having to sneak off on your own.
If you can sneak it off, believably. He doesn't have the bag of holding. Fuck. Keen obviously reaches for his belt and finds nothing. You don't happen to have a bag of holding, do you?
No, not with me now.
Shit.
If you are willing to delay, I could ask the others to get involved. They may be able to help. You have not thought this through, have you?
I'm more of the think of an idea, but not how to enact it type
Excellent.
of person.
Okay.
I can probably disappear from a healing ward.
They are going to wonder what happened to your body.
Yeah, that's where it gets a bit tricky, actually.
You're certain you don't want me to get my friends to help? They can at least cause a distraction or something. People may assume I've simply taken you away to rob you. That's the simplest of the options.
Yeah, make a good point. Then go get your friends.
You wait here, and he takes you by the shoulders and just parks you at a storefront in front of a closed flower shop. I will be back. Just stay. And maybe work on your performance. And he skitters off.
Kian stays dutifully in place, leans against the wall. He does practice. Do you want performance? 19.
Nice. This time goes a lot better. You even get a little bit of coin, and a small crowd is gathered around you by the time you feel a tap on your shoulder and turn around to see Jacques.
Kian quickly packs up the case.
The crowd seems vaguely disappointed. It begins to meander away. Alright, they do not want you to see them, but they are here. And we'll know. And don't worry, they have this handled destruction-wise.
Right, I trust you.
Alright. As you're walking, when you get closer to, I mean, you can tell this is probably more of a nightlife performance-y district. There are lights, colorful lights strung up between the buildings. There are grand theaters and performance halls, as well as small stages, sort of just scattered around the street blocks with various performances. Jacques slows down a bit and raises a hand to the flowers in his buttonhole. Do you know what these are called?
They're forget-me-nots.
He nods.
Why?
I'm just curious. I don't know much of that sort of thing. Flower names.
Did you wear them?
Well, just because I don't know their name doesn't mean I don't think they are pretty.
Kian's eyes light up as they smile. I thought so too.
That's why I pick you from the audience.
Just that? Just because of my looks?
He shrugs. I did not have much else to go off of.
Fair enough.
And now I know you have a winning personality, but how could I then?
Do you think this is a winning personality? Felt like a bit of a shadow of myself lately, so that means a lot.
Are you sure about my doorstep and you say please murder me? I think that is a point of interest for most people.
Thought it would be fun.
Yes, that is a point of interest. Most people do not think that is fun. Our stage is over there. Points down the street. It comes to an end, and there's a slightly larger stage there. There's someone on the stage right now singing like a opera-ish style song. It's very beautiful. It looks like they're maybe a water genasi in very fringe-covered robes that sway as they dance a little bit to their own song. And Jacques pulls you to the side. We just wait for the performance to be finished, and then we have to get up there before anyone else does.
Alright, be fast. Got it. And then I get a bit jealous.
A bit.
Alright.
And put up as much of a fight as you want. If you want to give a strong impression to the audience.
Kian looks like he's taking mental notes. Alright.
And if you want to get it over with, if you are worried about stage fright, then it can be a two-below sort of deal.
Not worried about stage fright. Can put on a good show.
And then he seems to start to disengage with you a bit. He is paying attention to the performance, like honestly paying attention to it, and starts to not ignore you, but, watch it with you. And as soon as it seems like the singer is starting to sort of finish up, he grabs you by the hand and starts to drag you through the crowd. Even before they get off of stage, he's clambering up and reaches out a hand to you.
Kian takes it.
He pulls you up onto the stage, grins at the audience, takes off his hat and bows and gestures for you to do the same.
Kian mirrors it and gives an extra little flourish as he waves his hat.
Then he steps back. Welcome everyone to this show. My name is Jacques. It is a pleasure to meet you. Gestures to you.
And I'm Kian Lionos, one of the best musicians in town.
One of the best. Let us begin. And he starts to play his song, or Lachlan's song.
They play through a verse
Mm-hmm.
and kind of start to step in front of Jacques instead of side by side.
Jacques doesn't hesitate in his playing, but there is a moment where he hesitates and almost allows you to push him aside a bit, and you can see out of the corner of your eye that he's looking at you with a dumbfounded expression on his face, and then he steps forward with a mildly awkward laugh, keeps playing, keeps singing.
As they get to a lyrical break in the song, Kian will almost obnoxiously start to like riff just a few extra like trills, and then as Auckland goes in to sing, they'll shake their head and interrupt the next verse and sing themselves.
Their voice falters, and they sort of whisper, "What are you doing?"
Isn't this the whole plan? Acting a bit jealous? Annoying you?
He glances out at the audience and back to you. "Now is not the time." Keeps playing.
What do you want to play, then? Do you want to take over? I think he raises his voice, but continues to play the song.
No, to finish our song.
Just think, maybe I could do it better.
Find your own stage.
That's what I'm trying to do. He goes back into singing, and there's a confidence to it that wasn't there before. It's a nice voice, but it's weak.
As the crowd starts to catch on that this is a fight, Kian, they boo you. It's a good-natured, people don't seem angry. Like, it seems like they're kind of having fun with this, but the crowd is clearly on Jacques' side. And he gestures to the crowd. Find your own stage.
Give me a verse or two. I can show everyone that I'm at least the better
I'm not
player.
giving you a verse of my song. Get off the stage.
No.
He shoves you.
Kian shoves him back.
Jacques stumbles.
It's my turn.
He punches you full in the face. It is not a feint.
Yeah.
He punches you in the face.
Kian quickly,
It's gonna do damage.
yeah.
You take 3 points of bludgeoning damage.
You have me do math in D&D.
Also, is something -3 too hard for you to...
Yes!
The crowd goes, "Oh!"
There's like an actual hint of fear for a second as Kian tries to get the mandolin out of danger.
He continues to play as you rearrange yourself.
And he goes in for a punch.
Yeah, he lets you hit him. As if he didn't expect it. And he has faced the audience again. Oh, 1 plus your strength modifier.
So a
just
-1.
So just 1.
1.
He does not act like it is a 1. He almost falls to his knees. There's like a moment he laughs. He like spits on the ground as if that was enough to make him bleed. And then grabs you from behind the knee, like loops his arm around your legs to trip you.
They fall and again try their best. There's still this genuine fear that the mandolin is going to get hurt in all of this, to fall in a way that it doesn't hit the ground. And he kind of shouts, exclamation of pain, and he pulls on Lachlan's tail.
On his tail.
This is a tussle now.
Yeah.
He goes in for an elbow jab into the side.
He grabs you by the arm. He's impressively strong, actually, as he forces your arm away. There is like a moment where he looks at you and there's a hint of question in his eyes. He's not quite sure how long you want this to go. And then he punches you in the face again.
Kian takes the hit. He'll punch him in the face one last time and then just the subtlest nod.
You see a flash of silver as he pulls out a dagger from his side and brings it down across your chest. And you feel pain, like it comes in contact with your skin. At the same time, you see a flash of light and hear a deafening sound and crumbling and screaming. It sounds like an explosion of some sort. And you hear the results of this explosion, but you see nothing. The world just turns black. It's not a comfortable feeling. It's kind of like sleep paralysis. You can sense the world around you. You can hear people screaming. You can hear panic, but you can't do anything. And you feel yourself being handled. More hands than just Jacques. Dragged, you can assume, off the stage and lifted. Feels like someone taller than him. Someone who can sling you over their shoulder. You hear Jacques like, "Come this way, over here." And that's all you hear that you can understand. amongst all the clamor until it starts to quiet, and you just hear footsteps of the people carrying you.
I guess the one thing that lasts for an hour, his disguise is gonna fall.
Kian, you eventually come to in yet another mysterious pocket of dawning. This seems to be a park, maybe, of some kind. You're beneath a few pine trees, but you can still hear some of the distant sounds of the city. You know, you're not out in the wilderness. And Jacques is sitting beside you, just leaned up against the tree, looking up through the branches.
Kian slowly sits up.
Good morning.
So I'm dead, then.
I hope so. We made sure that some people in the front saw you, and I mean, then we had to run off, so they could not investigate the closest, but...
I think Kian's just slowly looking down at their hands, not really looking at Jock.
I was nervous for a moment. Some stranger helped you off of the stage, but my friend was able to pull you from their arms, and so we ran. So that may be for the best.
He looks a bit worried and quickly snaps a disguise. Let us use just a human man, pretty nondescript. What time is it right now?
He shrugs. I don't know.
It's the middle of the night?
It is night.
Kian looks up at the sky. Yeah, I guess we could have... Shit, so I did it, I guess. We did it.
I was going to say, I think I can have some credit for this. I apologize for, I did not know I was to make it convincing.
Sorry for hitting you back.
Well, I was more apologizing for, the dagger, but the punches too.
Assumed it would need something like that. He's fine. Is he still bleeding?
Kian?
Yeah.
No.
It's all better now, so... You did that.
What?
It's just not bleeding anymore. I don't know, it all happened so fast. I don't even know if it would be bleeding anymore. Thanks.
Did you think I would just let you bleed out?
I don't think it was that deep, was it?
He shrugs again. Caught in the moment. It wasn't that deep.
Look, thank you. Thank you.
My pleasure.
I think it's a small price to pay. Hopefully, if it's all believed, that is.
Yes. I'll have to get out of town soon.
If I wanted to go with you. But I have to decide now.
Tonight, preferably. Notoriety has its pros and cons. As I said, we have to get going soon.
You can't just sighs, leans back against the tree. Fuck, I really haven't thought this through.
No, I can see that. But you're free now to do whatever you want, so you can take your time.
Yeah, I can. It's nice to be free. Free of it. Don't think that's sunk in yet. Wasn't really the thing I would have wanted even a few days ago, but...
Well, it is easy to undo if you regret it.
I don't think I will. Maybe a part of me wanted to do this a while ago. So thank you.
I get something of this too.
Alright, the tickets.
Yes.
Or the coin, how much? I don't really have much money or a whole lot of confidence that we'll be able to get you tickets.
Well, you could have mentioned that before we made our deal.
But you said I could come with you if it didn't work out.
So you are joining us?
Kian smiles. And then his smile kind of stutters. As tempting as that may be, no. I can't. Yes? Look, I'd love to go with you. The whole reason I did this was so that I could keep doing what I'm doing with my friends. So it's kind of counterproductive if I just run off.
I guess that makes sense. He leans back against the tree. I don't know if my partner would be happy I invited someone I barely knew anyway, so it makes sense.
Makes sense. Keen kind of sits up against the tree.
Well, it was fun while it lasted.
Yeah, it was fun while it lasted, wasn't it? Keen looks a little bit like they're about to cry. Is the mandolin next to them?
Yeah, of course.
They reach for it, just to see that it's there. So, I'll contact you about payment and all that.
It was a good night.
Just 5 minutes ago, you were giving me grief.
But you seem so sad now.
I can try. Or we can just call it even.
I'll leave that up to you. If the melancholy is too much, perhaps I can let it slide, but if you can find it in your heart to give a donation to your kind assistant, then I will take it.
You've already gotten a diamond off of me, so...
That was not payment for tonight. It does not count. Alright, what is next? Do I pretend that I've thrown you in the river or something and then we go our separate ways?
Are you gonna throw me in the river?
I said pretend.
Whatever you think is best. I don't know.
He laughs. Never mind. I'll take care of it.
So this is it, then?
Yes, I need to get out of here.
Alright, Keen looks down again. At this, I think I said a random man disguise.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta figure out something better. But they snap their fingers again and again, and they get caught up in making disguises for a second and then look to Jock. Thank you for this. I don't think it's the last time I'll see you. I don't see you for a while. I'll remember this.
I'm sure you will.
Keen smiles. I think snaps their fingers one last time to final disguise and grabs all of their stuff.
And be careful finding your way home. I've heard there is some sort of monster out there tonight.
I've heard about that too. I'm not...
We're sort of on the fringes right now, and it is where it is seen the most. Just be on your guard.
Not too worried about that one, no.
That's our doggy. I'm friendly, I promise.
We're trying to catch it, so wish us luck.
No, don't.
Please don't. Bad luck, bad luck.
Kill him, Garrett.
You don't need to do that.
Well, sure, we don't need to, but we want to.
Keen decides not to pick this battle right now. Alright. But see you then. They get up, they turn around, look like they're about to say something else, and they don't. And they leave.
He tips his hat, gives a little bow, and you make your way back in your new disguise.
They definitely turn invisible.
Oh, okay.
once they-
Oh, that's right, yeah. So you have a pretty easy time of it. Do you just walk through the front door, or how are
No,
you?
he climbs through the window.
You can't see your own hands as you try to grip the window frame and pull yourself in, and it makes you unexpectedly very clumsy. And as you half tumble, half jump down, you manage to kick over a fine vase that sits on a pedestal beside the window.
Arthy ass. They're gonna make you pay for that one. They would never.
And it's not long afterwards that Virgil and Henry appear in the doorway.
And you see a tiefling woman.
Virgil's hand goes to the hilt of his sword, but he doesn't draw it. And he just stops, like, with a hand up.
It's not what you think. And I would argue, because
disguise self actually physically changes his body, that his voice probably sounds a bit different, but there is a recognizable accent and intonation.
You're Rasulian about it.
Yeah.
Is that you? Kian.
Kian? Kian?
Hi.
Stupid fool. I think he will run up and hug you. Like, you get pulled into a hug. A really tight one. It probably does hurt.
How, actually, there's a bit of a wound.
What the hell were you thinking?
I'm assuming it's from dying.
Yeah, what did that not stick or what happened?
He's undead.
Keen looks nervously, sort of out the window and then into the hallway. Look, can we be quiet about this? Where's Ox?
Well, we were preparing to go over to the performing district to come and find you.
No, not me. You know,
Henry comes in and closes the door in an... It's not a slam, but it's not a gentle door close either. It's an annoyed little door close.
look, okay, so, I don't think we should use that name anymore. If this is gonna work.
What are you trying to do?
Well, and his smile widens. So I figured it all out. This way, Navain doesn't have to know anything about me, and we can just walk freely without getting in trouble, and
You figured this all out without us.
well,
You decided to fake your own death without telling anyone.
And if you had come back here, and we were all gone,
his smile falters.
Kian. Not Kian. Nian.
Baby girl. I love this man.
Fucking.
This is
Oh my
excellent.
god, Kendall coded motherfucker.
I was actually thinking, and he kind of gestures down to himself. I have a little doodle. They're kind of a cream sand-colored tiefling with, it sort of starts out like a soft greenish blue hair that goes down like past their waist and turns white with coral-like antlers and lots of multicolored blue and green freckles. I didn't even think about that.
There's mad.
Yeah. I was kind of thinking, like the Breeze or Bree would be a good name. That's besides the point.
Yeah, I'll let you explain yourself in just a minute. I'm going to go and get Ox. Okay.
Look, it's not a completely shit plan. But this is coming from me. There are some parts that might not have been fully thought through.
Transgender tiefling and ran away from this town. He was like, I want to claim tieflinghood.
To be fair, me running away was not going to cause Maggie to potentially go and run into her sister that wants to kill her. That's different.
Yeah, it didn't affect Maggie in any sort of way at all.
Yeah,
It's
No,
fine.
not at
no
all.
lasting damage.
No.
It had lots of done.
Like, do you want me to tell you?
What the f-
What?
Hey Dad, what the fuck do you mean? I'm gonna need a bit more context then. Do you want me to tell you?
It's getting kind of late, Virgil.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Guys, I think I've stood growing up.
I think, if I may,
You can't do this to me.
Virgil, you run outside to find Ox. It doesn't take incredibly long because he's just walking in circles with his bacon.
He has been chain smoking cigarettes.
Yeah, there's a trail of smoke behind him, like a train.
Just a stack of smoke.
God, I love that. No, I need Thomas the Tank Engine.
Art of Ox.
No,
Somebody get on that.
No, you take that back right now.
Absolutely not.
that's staying. That's
Train
staying.
Sona.
Ox would have a train Sona.
Stop.
Henry, you sit and wait with Kian, not Kian Nian, Breeze Bree. Out in the woods somewhere, a wolf runs from its pursuers. And on the Phoenix grounds somewhere, a man waits in his kitchenette close to the door, glances at the clock.
Stop.
He has a mug of coffee that has long grown cold.
Babe, this is so mean.
You have a good excuse.
I honestly think he remembers when he goes outside again to find Ox because he realizes it's dark. When he finds you, he just looks really pale. You should come back inside. It's good news for you. Let's go inside. He will kind of jog back. And I think when he gets there, he doesn't really look at whatever reunion happens. He pulls out a piece of paper and starts writing.
Ox looks a little anxious. I mean, he always looks a little anxious, but...
Are you wearing the gay-ass earring Ox made you?
No, I don't think
Dang
they're
it.
wearing anything that would make them recognizable at all.
That's a real shame.
But a cream-colored falcon is on the bed beside them. The tiefling woman just leaves their hand.
Awkward little Kian wave.
Sorry about all of this, but it's gonna be a good thing.
He looks shocked at first, but soon the shock is kind of just wiped off of his face with a little grin, and he'll come over and hug you.
Kian will hug back tightly. Sorry about this.
I'm just glad we didn't go after Scar before we were able to find you again.
Why would you have gone after Scar?
Why wouldn't we? Sorry.
Well, I sort of got the feeling that if it had been Scar that had done it, it would have been more noticeable.
So how did you hear about it, actually? Did it get to the grounds?
Everyone is talking about it, Kian. Everyone.
They look really relieved and smile. And that smile fades again as they look to Virgil, who is looking at them with pure anger, I would say, based on your face.
There's some disappointment.
Yeah.
Don't forget that.
That's good, though. That means it worked. And this can't leave this room. Please? They look a bit desperate as they look at all of you. No one else can know. That was...
Right.
The issue here, Kian, is not that we are reluctant to keep this secret. I think we will be happy to do so. But do you see what the problem is? Do you know the fucking day we've had?
Would you like to hear about our conversation from Navain?
I just thought it would be bad if I was there for that.
I'm not mad about you not being in the room with us, talking to Navain. I'm upset that we had to find out from Henry's father that you were killed.
They look very small on the bed. Look, I didn't know when you would learn. And if you learned while you were talking to Navain. No offense, but we're not the best buyers. I couldn't tell you beforehand. I'm sorry that you found out like that.
Could have at least left a cryptic little note or something, like, hold off on anything rash, I have a plan.
The more people that know, the more this whole thing was just a waste.
This is arguably the more high-stakes secret that our group has encountered. Again, the plan isn't terrible in and of itself. Just some of the finer details, in a way. But it's not like... What I mean is we're not going to undo it, unless you want to.
Look, we can keep talking about this all night if we have to, but could Marigold deliver something for me, please?
To who?
Rowan. I was supposed to meet him tonight, and I didn't on account of all of this.
Kian looks to Marigold. Oh, I don't think that's a good idea.
Okay. Then I will need an hour. Whatever. Okay.
Virgil, there are pigeons on the grounds.
He'll take up that offer and go to find the pigeons.
It is a very simple letter. It is just, I'm so sorry. I'm sure you've heard the rumor. If not, then I'm sure we'll reach you soon. But we'll have to reschedule.
Pigeon flies off with your note.
Cool. Keen's just sitting on the bed, petting Marigold. I should probably change her into something less recognizable, too.
Will you be able to do that?
I mean, it will take an hour.
Make out to the bug. Errol leans against the door frame.
Errol's here?
Now they are.
Oh!
They have reappeared.
I mean, Rowan's seen her like that too, though. Maybe something without wings. They kind of wince.
Well, you've done dove and a falcon. Why not a songbird or something?
How dare you?
They look down to Marigold. What do you want to be?
A pigeon!
Marigold just looks at you and tilts her head to the side.
You can decide.
Marigold bobs her head in a fashion that would look normal on a pigeon and looks very strange on a falcon.
She says, a pigeon, you dumb bitch.
Do you need space?
No.
Keen looks to Virgil.
He doesn't say anything. He is visibly angry.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna do this now then.
You just sit there in silence for an hour.
Yeah.
Think about what you've done.
They cross their legs on the bed and just beckon for Marigold and slowly start that familiar spell.
Haha.
Henry gets up, gives a little beard back, and walks out of the room, comes back with a hand dustpan, sweeps up the vase shards.
How shattered is it?
Kian, roll a dex check. Roll a kiss to fall in love.
That's a 6.
It's pretty... Some pieces are just dust.
It's probably going to take him most of the time of the spell to get everything out of the carpet and make a couple trips back, but he doesn't seem upset to be doing it.
It doesn't take long for Ox to come over and help start picking pieces out of the carpet with you. With his gloved hands, of course.
Cleaning up Keen's mess.
Errol will go sit next to Virgil.
Virgil just leans his shoulder against theirs. Doesn't say anything.
You know you cannot stick Nevin.
I know the chances are slim. I would have tried for you.
I would not want you to do that.
Why not?
Why not?
Just curious.
I have seen my friends die in front of me before. It was not particularly pleasant. And I do not want to see that again. And if it has to happen again, I don't want it to be my fault. At least I have that going for me. I can blame someone else. That was stupid of you.
Have you ever known me to be particularly clever?
Yes?
When it comes to Navain?
Yes. You would listen to them.
Once, yes.
Fine. I think then, according to what just happened, you should not tell Sterling anymore about me.
No, I think you're right.
Okay. They stand up. I'm going to go to my room. They head off down the hall in the direction of Kieran's room.
There's so much I just can't tell Rowan.
I'm
It's
sorry.
fine.
We
Now it
need
is
to-
me who keeps the secrets in this relationship.
We need to get him out from under the boot.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah. Get his lips off the boot, man. Stop.
Anyway, Kian, after an hour, in front of you sits a cream white puffin.
A fucking puffin?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
She stamps her feet a little bit on the blankets.
She won't be able to keep up with you when you walk anywhere. She's so stupid!
You're gonna have to carry her.
Babe, she's gonna need a baby sling.
Boy, I have so many fun puffin facts for you.
And she hops over to you.
Keen looks delighted, as always.
She goes, "Screw."
It's
That's not the right noise. It's definitely not the right noise. It's okay. You're doing perfect. He gives her a little pat. And they look to the room. Is Virgil still sitting? Or has he gone?
Oh, no, he's exactly where he was when you began the spell.
Yeah.
He's got his rabbit in his lap. He hasn't said a fucking word.
Ox has been tinkering with one of his guns for a little while.
So,
Ready to exchange some stories?
yeah, what's going on with you? Oh,
If Virgil does not, Keen is given a relatively brief rundown from Henry of the Nevane shit, as it has been called, after going on a very Henry ramble, concludes with, "And what were you up to during that time?"
Kian does look a little bit, I think, nervous while Henry is telling this story. They straighten up. I mean, well, I talked to Jock, and we faked my death, and now I'm here. And I think that the Winds of Change are trying to capture Kirit,
Trying to capture Kirit?
Why?
probably to help people. There's a
Bullshit.
monster on the loose.
Bullshit.
He just shrugs.
Did you get any more information about where?
I can show you the area.
Yeah, let's go get him before they can replace their chimera.
Agreed.
As everybody gets ready to go, there's this attempt both to be close and to put distance between themselves and Virgil, and it's kind of like a weird dance as they're all getting ready, almost trying to say something, and then taking like 5 steps to the side and like putting somebody in between them.
You will be encouraged even to steep in that. He doesn't say a word.
Yeah.
He doesn't look at you. But you know that he knows.
Alright, well, how are you gonna get him? Do we have a plan? We don't need a plan, let's just go.
Who knows? Maybe he's not even in the same kind of feral headspace, and it was just something that he needed to run out.
I think that Kian would cast invisibility also as soon as they leave their room.
Before you exit the place, maybe like while you're walking down the hallway, Errol steps out from his room / Kiart's room and taps you on the shoulder, Virgil.
Yes?
I'm going to complete my little mission then, if you are going out. So if I'm not here in the morning, don't worry, I've just hidden into rafters of the Phoenix Crown somewhere.
Okay. Please be safe. Because I will come looking for you.
Right. You be safe as well. They watch you go.
Okay. You ready to see your sister tonight? Because we probably will be. What do you want to do with her?
She'll need to be subdued. As fast as we can.
Do you want her dead?
He looks thoughtful for a moment. Not unless it comes to that.
Okay.
There's just a voice, as Kian is invisible right now. But we're gonna try not to fight, right?
We're going to get there before her and any of her goons can show up.
Yeah, and we're gonna get everybody out and not fight.
If she tries to kill us, then I'm not going to let her do that.
Well, of course not, but also, a lot of them did help me.
Maybe we don't know that.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe we don't know that. Amen.
You can't see Kian's face, but I think they just don't know how to respond to that. But you can know that, actually.
You don't have to fight anyone. You don't want to. But they did attack a bunch of innocent civilians on board a train. If you want a piece of motivation.
So maybe we don't know the whole story.
Well, then we find Scar and we can ask her. We're not going to kill Lachlan. Don't worry.
Kian will pull themselves into a corner and drop the invisibility so that they can lead everybody.
Is this a ride our way there, on mounts sort of haste? If it's like an hour away.
We can take mounts. What's the worst that's going to happen? I'm going to get a lecture from my parents.
Well, I've got my own, but you can deal with that.
2 of you get your goats, 2 of you get your horses, and Keen, you're still gonna have to roll for directions.
Okay, I'm using one of my inspiration points. 14.
Yeah, I think with a 14, I mean, you might take a few wrong turns here or there, but you managed to make it there 30 minutes. It's not like you can run full speed, you are in a city. The busyness of the town, the glow of the nightlife fades behind you as you reach more of the outskirts.
Kian, Bree, Henry rides up alongside. Right, so what's the story for all of us that we're going with for you being here? Do you have one?
Did you have a plan?
You just thought I was nice?
Virgil just starts crying.
I think probably we should try to not call me Kian. And maybe use she, her pronouns. Or she, they.
For the time being, did you want to stick with Bree? Breeze?
Yeah, I think that's as good as any. Kind of just came up with it on the spot, so I think it sounds nice.
Sure, just whatever makes you feel the most comfortable.
Yeah.
Right, just let us know if it changes.
Also, love Henry being like, I know an agonized human. I know how to do this.
You end up more in woodland and the agricultural area. It's essentially half urbanized. These woods are not the woods of the oceans, but they carry their own dangers as any woods at night would.
Dad.
Father.
It's fairly quiet out here. Most people who are not out on the town would now be asleep. You pass by a few simple homes. Your street turns into more of a road and gradually thins as you approach the trees.
All right. Well, Kirit's form is rather large. Take a look around for if there's any sort of abnormalities. Broken lower branches, gashes in trees, excessive disruption, etc. Might be a good place to start.
I think Virgil will hop down off of Orna, summon Blossom, and really briefly duck into her senses, see if he hears anything.
Is she a rabbit still? A big rabbit?
Yeah,
Excellent.
he hasn't
Great.
had time to change her yet.
If you're just trying to listen for sounds, that would be perception. If you're trying to do kind of what Henry was saying and look for signs, that would be investigation.
How did Rabbit not have advantage on hearing? That's crazy.
I do have bird fly up.
Yeah.
You do have... Can Puffin fly?
Yes!
Anyway, Ox, what'd you get?
For investigation, that would be a 10. He's also just gonna stand and try to listen, and that perception check was a 19.
I only got a 10.
8.
Most of the birds have +1 to
Yeah.
perception, so 16.
19 on perception.
Henry and Ox, you catch the faintest of sounds on the breeze. Like you've imagined it, like you want to hear something so bad that you hear it, but both of you just faintly react to it at the same time and confirm to each other through that slight turn of the head that the other one must have heard it too. Puffin, roll a d20, Curate.
Moi? 9.
Puffin, Marigold, you see a rustling in the distance. There's a clearing in the distance, maybe about a mile away from where you all stopped, where the trees thin out and there's a bit of farmland. There's a fence. It looks like maybe it's a pasture for someone to bring their cows out to graze. What Puffin Marigold actually sees is not the winds of change, not a big wolf, but whatever creatures are in this pasture. Just little dots of some sort of animal running from one end to the other, all in a group, as if in distress.
There's a herd of very scared animals running that way from over there. And Keen points.
Okay.
Is it in the similar direction to the sound?
Yes, but the sound that you heard, you're fairly certain was human, like a yell or a call.
Virgil will mount back up on Orna and just gallop.
Clementine runs alongside.
I'm going to have you roll another d20 for me, please.
11.
As you all approach the pasture, Ox, you hear at first a crashing through the undergrowth that sounds distinctly animalistic. It must be something large, and must be something moving very fast. It's coming from the left and is moving at first towards you and then away.
I heard something coming over there. Now it's moving away.
Let's go.
Yeah.
As we turn to give chase, Virgil will put a hand on the hilt of his sword, and as he unsheathes it, he will try and reach for the light.
Please.
It's a 16.
Nothing happens.
That being the case, he will frost it over.
Kirit, you're running and you're afraid, and something is chasing you, and you're afraid, and you keep running, and then something else is chasing you. There's more of them, and you're still afraid, and you're still running.
Kian jumps off of Clementine and turns into a big borzoi.
The big borzoi's back!
Big Boars boy.
You can cast their scent on the wind. There are 4 animals, prey, 4 predators, and then it changes, and there's a creature like you. Sometimes you run, sometimes you turn around and attack back. You get to decide which.
There's a barking. I don't think it's aggressive.
I think at this point, as you're pursuing, you have now been able to hear some of the sounds of him running.
Does he feel like he's being chased from 2 different directions, or generally things coming
2
from
different directions.
Okay. If it's coming from 2 different directions, he might start to feel cornered, then I think he would get ready to attack.
Okay. Yeah, you hear the sound of crashing ahead of you stop.
Henry rather quickly slows down, dismounts.
The pasture is close by. The trees are a bit thinner here, but it's still definitely a forest.
Okay. I'll catch up, just going another direction, you know?
Kian is dog brain and racing forward, I think, still.
I think Ox is trying to keep up with Kian.
Is there anyone else here?
There's no one else here in sight.
He's less worried about where Kirit is and more about where Scarlet could be.
Yeah. Do you want to do another perception check? Don't forget your disadvantage.
Oh, don't worry. 9.
The night is sort of blurry around you. You're a bit tired.
What?
Yeah.
Me? It's okay. Orna knows where she's going.
Yeah.
He just holds tight to
Are
her
you
mane.
just trying to reach the other side of Kirit, Henry? What is your plan?
Once they've moved a little bit farther, he does shoot back a little. I am going to go on ahead. It wouldn't be best if we together, is what
I'll give you some distance.
Thank you.
So Henry, as you stealth around, Ox and Borzoi.
Borzoi.
The boys
You have to Beetlejuice it.
You quite suddenly find yourself face to face with a wolf. His fur is dirty and splinters stick out of it. Though it hasn't been that long, he looks impressively haggard, panting, hackles raised.
Kian, play bows. And wags his tail.
You're gonna need a dewormer after this adventure.
So cursed, first of all.
Maybe Kian should make a persuasion check.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I think Ox gives some respectful distance. Once he
Between
saw
the big dogs.
Yeah, once he saw Kian stop, he went, "Oh, yeah, stop back here."
Yeah, let the Borzoi handle this. Yeah.
35?
spooked, but
Sorry, what?
35.
It's a good play bow.
I mean, I feel like if you get a 12 or higher, then there's 35. I think
Roll for the dog.
I think Kirit kind of takes a little shocked hop backwards almost. He stands up a little straighter out of an aggressive position, not really ready to engage in any sort of play, but not going to attack you. At least not immediately.
Kian kind of. We're just gonna dog roll.
Go on, you fucking warrior cat kid.
yeah, come on.
Go on.
Just stays low, and there's a couple of playful yips.
Kirit cocks his head. Does he recognize Kian?
Make a wisdom check.
Check.
A wisdom check.
Dirty 20.
1 second.
Somebody
Hold on.
There's
they-
2 dogs to get
Are
down.
they rolling damage? Is that what's happening?
Can Ox perceive? Can I roll for perception for
Yes.
any noises?
Yes. You recognize that this is a familiar, not person, but a familiar being, and a friendly one. How many hit points do you have?
107.
If your hit points are 107, hold on. And I asked you to half your hit points in a D&D way. Would that make you have 53 hit points, or would that make you have 54 hit points?
If you're halving my hit points, you round down. If you're dealing damage and you're halving the damage, you round down on the damage. So it would be
Okay.
54.
If I'm
Does that make
halving your
sense?
hit points, it's 53.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Many things happen at once. First of all, Kira, you were at half hit points. Not suddenly right now, you have been half
Yeah.
hit points because of this night. And you see Kirit sort of relax, Borzoi and then collapse to the ground. Ox, what did you get for perception?
24.
You caught glimpse, half second before Kirit collapsed, a glimpse of like a spark of purple magic from one of the trees. Henry, you got a 14. You just see the Borzoi and the wolf, and then the wolf collapse.
He wouldn't go directly back to the group. It'd be like off to the side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can he pinpoint which tree?
Yeah. There's a close group of 3 directly behind you, to the right a little bit.
Fireball it.
I don't have fireball, babe.
An arrow shoots out from one of the trees and whizzes right past your ear, Ox, and lands in the tree behind you.
Yeah, no, Ox gets off the horse. Is gonna try to find a little bit of cover behind a tree. Ox is going to fire a disarming shot.
And I think at this point it probably makes sense for us all to roll for initiative.
Yeah, I think as the arrow thuds into the tree, Virgil just spurts Morna forward and he will just charge.
14.
18.
5.
My initiative is 5.
Ox, you lift your hand, your finger hovers over the trigger, and you hear, "Why don't you just leave that to us?" And that's where we'll end the session for tonight.
Son of a bitch. No, daughter of a bitch.
Son of a gun and daughter of a bitch.
Tried maybe not being so bullyable.
Go build you a log cabin on a mountain so high, and hear the feather overdue as she goes screaming by. She'll tease you and she'll please you. She'll satisfy your needs, but someday she might turn around and hold her hand that feeds.
Hey, it's me speaking. They call me Lo, you can call me whatever you like. The night is dark, but for the stars and the stories and those who listen, thank you for listening. And a special thanks to our Ko-Fi supporters, Sky, Maelstrom Star, Flowerfield, Xbox Unofficial, and Kane, for the starlight you shine. I see it from here. If you'd be so kind, please go on and leave us a review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or YouTube streams, and join us on our Discord server to speak with us and tell us your own tales from your own worlds. Go on and take a look there at our link tree to find maps and portraits as well. Our background music is by Marika Shantz, and our intro music is by Ben McElroy. Our outro is The Falcon by Mimi and Richard Farina, covered by May Voice-Akian. Our official art is by our very own Corey, voice of Virgil, at Crow Queen on Twitter. Now, come and join me by the fire and look up at the sky. See the stars? They're still telling us their story.